Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly. As the summer transfer window gets closer, we come back to the age-old question: which striker should West Ham sign? Yes, West Ham Network, it's Holly, and today I'm going to be running through two pretty interesting options of strikers that could benefit West Ham. Now, if you like this video, as always, make sure you give it a thumbs up and get involved in that conversation down below in the comments, as well as making sure you subscribe to the almighty West Ham Network. Now, two of the players that have been spoken about as potential targets recently are Dominic Solanke and Ivan Toney. So Solanke scored against Manchester United at the weekend, putting Bournemouth ahead at the Vitality Stadium. This goal actually put him level with Alexander Isak in the race for the Golden Boot, as well as putting him just 3 goals behind current leaders Haaland and Cole Palmer, which is no easy feat being at Bournemouth when obviously you're up against people that are at teams that provide a lot more assistance in the goal front. Now, he sits on 17 Premier League goals, which means he's actually overtaken Josh King's record at Bournemouth from the 2016-17 season, averaging a goal every 167 minutes. But one of the most impressive stats about Solanke is that he's actually started every Premier League game this season, and he's played 99% of all the minutes that there have been this season, which shows that he's obviously got a lot of availability, which is another massive plus. And he did, of course, score against us last game of the season, and we know that we love to be linked with a player that scores against us. Now, taking a deeper look at the stats, Solanke actually scored an impressive 29 goals in 46 championship games, which helped to secure Bournemouth's promotion at the end of the 21-22 season. In the 22-23 season, he scored 6 goals and got 7 assists in the Premier League. And as we've said, he's currently sitting on 17 goals and 3 assists in 32 Premier League games so far this season. Also, Spurs and Arsenal are rumoured to be after him. However, it would remain to be seen how much game time he would get at those two clubs. And then you have got Ivan Toney. Now, Ivan Toney has scored 4 goals in 13 games, which means he's got an average of 1 goal every 272 minutes. So by minutes, slightly less goals than Solanke. He's obviously had a while out, but has made an impressive return this season. He actually scored 4 goals in his first 5 games back. I had him on my fantasy football team. I was very happy about that. However, he has not scored in his last 8 games played, playing for only 9 minutes against Villa and remaining on the bench against Sheffield United, with Thomas Frank saying that he wasn't actually fit to play. Now, that's another interesting thing. He's obviously getting to the older side. So in terms of injuries, fitness, it'd be interesting to see how much longer he can perform at a very high standard. But taking a look at these stats, he actually scored 20 goals and got 4 assists last season, which is brilliant, as well as getting 12 goals and 5 assists the previous season in the league. What does this mean? This means that out of the 2 players, Toney has had the best season in the last 3 seasons. However, Solanke is well on his way to actually reach the same number of goals and assists, needing just 3 more goals and 1 more assist to equal Toney's record Premier League season. But the big question, which would you prefer to see at West Ham? I ran a poll on X asking people which they would choose, and 54% said that they would choose Solanke of the 2, while 43% said Toney and 3% said someone else. Now, a popular comment was people saying that both Toney and Solanke would be expecting European football wherever they move next. But I personally don't think that our European situation should stop us going for talented players. Plus, every player wants Europe, and to find players that don't want European football, you'd be dropping down leagues and leagues and leagues when you're recruiting. So while it might be more tricky to compete with the clubs that do have European football guaranteed, if they go in for the same players, it shouldn't stop us going for them, even if we don't have Europe next season. I want to see us aim for the stars. Tim Stuyton is not going to be accepting players that don't have any ambition to be in Europe. And I'd be worried about the calibre of any player that didn't want Europe in any way. Obviously, they would prefer Europe, but we do also have a lot of tempting things as a club. We're in London. We have had European football and could have it again. Plus, if you actually think about it, Toney's been at Brentford for 4 years and he has got, well, the whole time he's had next to no chance of Europe, while Solanke signed an extension in August 2022, I believe, with Bournemouth to keep him there until 2026. So that's a big old commitment. And at that point, Bournemouth had just come back off a season where they finished second in the Championship and they've been promoted to the Premier League. So what this means is, with Brentford currently 15th and Bournemouth sitting 13th, West Ham would be technically an upgrade as we're higher in the league as it stands currently, and we do still have a chance of European football. Not saying it's guaranteed by any means, but we offer more than those two clubs. But the question is, who else is going to come in for these players, and can we tempt them to come to West Ham instead of wherever the other recruitment teams may be from? Another argument against these two is that we should be looking at younger players. So that was one of the things that quite a few people actually said in the comments. Now, Toney's 28, so I understand this to an extent, but Solanke is only 26, so he's got many good years ahead of him, and he would still have a decent resale value in a couple of seasons. So does their age worry you? Let us know again what you think below in the comments. In my opinion, I would choose Solanke, as I think he brings other players really nicely into the game. He's younger than Toney. He's obviously having a fantastic season. And one of the things that does concern me about Toney is the way that he's been publicly flirting with other clubs straight after coming back from a ban where Brentford have blindly stuck by his side and just been loyal to him, which West Ham fans, we get frustrated enough when Antonio goes on a podcast when he isn't performing and scoring goals. So goodness knows what would happen if Toney started doing something like that at West Ham. But it definitely feels as though Toney's approach to life could rub some fans up the wrong way. So there you go. I would choose Solanke of the two, but drop us a comment. So there's no denying that both are very talented players. If you had to choose between the two, let us know. Which would you prefer to join West Ham? Also, drop us a comment with any other strikers that you would like us to be looking at this summer. And you never know, rumour has it we might do an analysis video into everything that they could offer at West Ham. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you enter the biggest ever West Ham Football Prizes competition, where there's a top prize of a signed Lucas Paqueta shirt in a custom frame, and it's got an inbuilt TV. Entry is £3.95. And other prizes include signed shirts from James Ward-Prowse, Bowen and Alvarez, plus hospitality tickets and much, much more. So the competition itself ends on Wednesday, the 24th of April at 7:30 p.m. So make sure you don't miss out. It's all on our social media if you need to see it as well. As always, please give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to drop us a comment. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to West Ham Network. That is all from me for now. So have a brilliant rest of your day. And until next time, come on, you Irons. Irons.